Hello and welcome to Katrinas Creations. This is episode 428 and I have a bunch of finished objects today. So let's get started. The first thing I'm going to show you is I made another ear warmer. So I have a total of 3 of these now, and I do have a tutorial coming up for this in 2 weeks. So I will be doing a tutorial on how to make them. They're very, very simple. So one more of these. Then Kim and I are doing the Pippin Fest in the fall, and I had made 2 different color apples because Pippins are kind of this color. They're kind of a yellow with like a peachy, rosy color flesh on the apple. So these are ones I had already made. Some Pippin apples are green, but then I thought maybe I should make some red ones. Even though I haven't seen any pictures of red Pippin apples, I thought, well, some people just associate apples as being red. So I made 3, oops, where's his little face? 3 little apples. So there they are. Not to be confused with tomatoes. They do look like tomatoes. If someone wants them to be a tomato, I will gladly sell them a tomato. But yeah, they're apples. So we have those 3 made. Then I was able to get another of the water bottle carriers made. So that's 3 water bottle carriers at this point. Then this is for a craft fair in August, and these are the school colors of that for that particular town. That's the high school colors, so I'm hoping they sell well. This was my daughter's idea, and I'm thinking it might be a good one, so we're going to give those a try. Then I started working on trying to finish up a bunch of little scrap yarn that I had. I had thought I had used all my mini skeins up, and I was looking through some stuff and I found a whole bunch of like little 2 and 3 gram balls of yarn that were all fingering weight. So I started playing with them and putting them together, like some of them just mixing and matching with what colors kind of went together, so that I'm determined I'm going to use all of my scrap yarn up with this next blanket. So I have this one and this one. And it's funny because these 3 colors, these are hedgehog fibers, and I actually made a sweater. In fact, I had it on yesterday, or the day before yesterday, where the top starts out with this, and I don't remember the color names of these, but there's a little teeny bit, you can see a little bit of flecking of black in it. And then the next color skein, this next skein had more black in it, and then the last skein had a lot of black in it. So the sweater that I made, it's short sleeved and it actually is gradient like this. So these are leftovers from that sweater. So the sweater itself starts out with white with just a little bit of black flecking. The middle section moves down to an even mix of black and white, and then the bottom is more black than white. So yeah, and it was very comfortable. Even though this is merino wool, it wasn't so hot that I couldn't wear it because it is a short sleeved, but it's a lightweight yarn, and yeah, it was very comfortable to wear. So I actually was wearing this the other day, not the Hexies, the sweater. So I have those 3. Then I have a bunch of other ones that I made. There's this one. This outer edge is actually a real dark maroon. It kind of looks like it's black, but it's not. This was made from some Kool-Aid yarn that I dyed, or I dyed it using Kool-Aid. Then we have this one. Like I said, I worked my way through it. Here's some of that titmouse that I made that one sweater from. I just recently finished that, and that's the one I was chatting with one of you on email, and she had the same yarn, and I told her be very careful because it is supposed to be, if you have this yarn, just be careful. It is supposed to be superwash, which means technically you should be able to wash it and dry it. I put it through just a regular wash. I did not put it in the dryer because when I pulled it out of the wash, it actually did start to felt, which superwash isn't supposed to do that. It's quite so easy. And it's not like, I mean, I had it on a regular wash. It wasn't like heavy duty. I guess if I washed it again, it's going to be by hand or like on the lingerie setting, like an easy setting or something. It did start to felt, so I warned her ahead of time. I was like, be real careful with it. So anyway, that's what that yarn is. I'm going to start holding them up 2 at a time because I made quite a few. So we have some of these. I like this one because I like fall colors. And there's this one. I'm just bound and determined to use up scraps. So this one is really pretty. This yarn here, I actually made, I believe, a cowl from it. I got this when I was up in Maine about 1.5 years ago, and it had all different types of colors. And I bought this at, I believe, Mother of Pearl up in Freeport, Maine. But it's really pretty colors. Ready for St. Patrick's Day. And then we have 2 more. This one's very fall-ish. I like these colors. Some of these I think are ones I dyed. I think this one is some that I dyed. Actually, I know it is. The center one and this going around here are ones I dyed. The one that goes around the outer edge isn't. If you hear some sound in the background, Dave is changing the strings on his mandolin because we are going to be playing some music. Well, it'll be tonight when you're watching this, at a nursing home, so he's changing the strings, and we have special music at church on Sunday, so he's changing the strings on his mandolin. So if you hear music in the back, that's him winding the strings on. So that is my total for mini skeins. So that's my finished objects, and then my work in progress, which I only have, I have one more mini skein that's like partially done. So my sweater, I finished the bottom of it, so I have the length done. I have not woven the ends in yet. So here you can see it. And I did end up going, it said to measure from under the arm down 13 inches, and I actually went a little beyond that. And then I did a stretchy bind off on the hem right here so that it has a lot of flex to it. And so I did quite a bit last week with it. I do have to block this yet, so it is curling a little bit. But you can see here's where I was last week. So I went down 4 inches there, and then I got started on the sleeves, and I'm doing 2 at a time sleeves, so it's a little hard to show you, but they're both on here. You do them the same as you would do 2 at a time socks. So I am having to match colors. See if I can hold it this way so you can see it. Here is the top, here is the sweater. I want my sleeves to match this part of the pattern. So as you can see, this is where I joined, was right here at the bottom where the pink is. That's where I started this join coming across, and then I changed to the white like it is here, and now I am into this multicolor. This is called Ozone, and that's what I'm working on here for 6 rows, and then I will be doing this alternating blue, pink, and then the rest of it will be blue all the way down. And this blue is so soft. It's gonna feel so nice to wear. So I do have the yarn to make it long sleeved, so that's what I'm aiming for. But in all honesty, the colors in this, it would work perfect for like a spring sweater as well. But it's not a heavyweight sweater, it's very lightweight, so I think it will work for that. So that's my sweater. So that's what I've been working on this week. What have you been working on? So if you missed yesterday's video, you can click the link right here that will take you to it. I actually talked about my favorite storage for crochet hooks, knitting needles, notions. I also talked a little bit about my favorite crochet hooks, my favorite knitting needles, and then I put links in the description box to where you could get all of those items for all of the storage. And I have a big backpack, if you saw it on there, that's got all kinds of zipper spots. It's especially meant for knitting and crocheting. I mean, I guess you could use it for art supplies or coloring, something like that too, but it is especially for knitting and crocheting, and it's very well made. So I put a link to all of the things that I talked about on yesterday's video are in the description box of that video if you want to go check out where I got them from. So that was yesterday's video. Next Friday's video is going to be a review of some knitting needles. If you watched a few weeks ago, I picked up some knitting needles at a thrift store, and so I had never used them before, and so I did a review of them and compared them to other knitting needles and what my thoughts were. So that is going to be Friday's video. Now next Saturday there will not be a video. I'm taking a little vacation. We'll be home, but my granddaughter's getting married next Saturday, so I'm going to have company. Our family, my son and daughter-in-law and the kids are going to be with us during the week at some point, and we're going to be over helping get ready for the wedding and everything. So yeah, we're going to be a little busy. So there's not going to be a Saturday video next week, but there will be the Friday video, and there'll be a Friday video after that too. So Saturday video, we're just skipping 1 week, but the Friday videos will still be there because thankfully I've been able to pre-film the next 2 weeks for Friday, so we should be good with that. So what am I reading? I am partway through Peggy Earhart's Last Wool and Testament. This is part of the Knit and Nibble Cozy Mystery series, and she's one of the favorite authors that I enjoy. And the two best friends, they live across the street from each other in New Jersey, and they're part of a Knit and Nibble group that gets together once a week for knitting, and they share recipes. There's always, in the book, there's always a short knitting pattern, and there's also a recipe in the book at the very end. So there's always something good to check out for food-wise. So far it's been really good. I'm about halfway through the book. I've never read one of hers that were bad. But anyway, I'm halfway through the book at this point. And the two best friends, Bettina and Pamela, are trying to investigate who killed this local fiber artist. There's lots of suspects at this point because she was supposed to have an exhibit and it got canceled like at the last minute. And some of her neighbors and community were upset because she wasn't keeping her garden looking pristine, and she was growing some ragweed, which was attracting the bees, and they were complaining about the bees. And then they also discovered that this lady had designed some knitted tunics back in the 80s, and they became very popular, except that the person she was involved with at the time stole her idea and claimed that he had designed these pullovers. So, and the same man is now coming out with a new line of pullovers, and so they're wondering, did he steal her designs again? So there's lots of suspects at this point. So I hope to get that finished in the next week or so. So if you'd like to check out what I like to read, you can actually click on the Amazon link down below, and I've got all my things categorized by cozy mysteries, things that are not cozy mystery that I like to read, and cozy mysteries that involve yarn. So yeah, if you want to check out what I read, that's where I put them because I can remember what I've read that way. But yeah, I stick them down there if you ever want to check them out. So now it's time for... Now in our Come and Get It section, we have Lion Brand. They are running a sale right now. I'll be honest, there's even a better sale if you hold on till later in the week. There's a good sale starting on Tuesday. But their current sale that's running is if you spend $30 on select yarns, you get 25% off. You don't need a coupon code for this. As soon as you add qualifying yarns and your total comes to 30, the discount comes right onto your checkout. And that sale runs until Monday the 19th at 9 a.m. So that's Lion Brand. Mary Maxim has 25% off of all of their knit and crochet kits. That also ends at the end of Monday, so I guess midnight on Monday the 19th. Lovecrafts. Lovecrafts has up to 35% off of Paintbox, Rowan, Barocco Valley yarns, and Taki yarns right now. And if you're interested in any of these sales, if you go down to the description box and just look, all of the yarn companies are listed alphabetically, so you should be able to find them fairly easy. So that was Lovecrafts. Knit Picks, their yarn of the month is Aloft, so it is 20% off. Their Dishy yarns, they've come out with Dishies, like your cottons that you use for dishcloths and things. They have come out with some new colors that they've come out with for this season. They also have a sock yarn. This is sock yarn month, so they have some of their sock yarns discounted, I believe, but they also have a new line of yarn that is sock yarn called Melizas. So it's a new line that they've just come out with, so that might be interesting to check out too. And then lastly, we have Jimmy Bean's Wools. Jimmy Bean's is running a sale on some of their yarns. They have Cascade yarn, all different types of the Cascade yarn brand that are one-of-a-kind skeins, meaning they're not going to match each other. They're ones that might be mill ends. They might be something happened with the dye. So they're out of a dye. There's no dye lot to them. They are, like it says, one-of-a-kind. They have those starting for a worsted acrylic at $3.45. They also have the Cascade 220 Superwash Merino for $4.05. That's just of the one of their other Cascade 220s are regular price, but the Cascade Yarn 220 one-of-a-kind skeins are on sale for $4.05. And that is a 50-gram ball, and there's 136 yards in that. So all of their Cascade yarns that have one-of-a-kind skeins they're listed on sale right now. So those are definitely worth checking out too. So those are the sales that I know about. If I find out any other ones, like I said, Lion Brand has one coming up later in the week. I will let you know about it by sending out a little video that is yellow with black writing, so you know that it's a yarn sale. And otherwise, I will see you again on Friday. Remember, no Saturday video, but all the Friday videos will be regular. So I will see you again in 2 weeks. So I hope you have a wonderful weekend, and thanks again for watching. Bye, everybody.